Alright, now I need to come in off the sidelines here, off the bench, in order to participate in a game of goofiness. For those that don't know, Logan Paul is fighting Dillon Danis pretty soon, and in order to hype up their fight, they've been beefing with each other online. This time around with Logan Paul and Dillon Danis, though, it's been a bit different. This is a circus show fight between two clowns that the internet has laughed at and disliked for years. They're both scammers, by the way. I want to make this clear up front and center since most people seem to have forgotten that Dillon Danis is also a notorious scammer. So there's a whole video from Fousey on this about how he's more than willing to just exploit all of his fans for money off of knowingly promoting fraudulent products. And of course, Logan Paul is notorious for scamming his fans as well through Crypto0, of which he still has refused to refund their money. Dillon Danis has been able to wipe some of that clown makeup off in the court of public opinion. He's got a lot of new fans as a result of all of this because he employed an innovative new strategy for shit-talking. He's been posting pictures of Logan Paul's fiancée with other men, and then he'll have captions with it like, it's a picture of a Renaissance painting, and he's like, "Hey Logan, is that your wife over there with another guy? She's a time-traveling succubus. Your wife went back to the 14th century just to fuck this other man to get away from you." Like, and people are eating it up. People are going crazy for it. He's gained like 400,000 followers over the last couple weeks, hundreds of millions of impressions. Dillon Danis found salvation. In the wise words of Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger shit. And Danis found it with Logan Paul. He found a bigger piece of shit than himself. He wasn't well liked in the space. I guess he had a reputation of ducking fights, and then even if he'd take them, he'd lose. So Dillon Danis has just won over the entire community's support against Logan. So he showed up to this event wearing this, obviously a reference to Logan Paul's infamous suicide forest video. Still to date, one of the most deplorable videos a big content creator has ever proudly posted online, where he filmed and mocked a dead body in a Japanese suicide forest. But there was something that was said that I had to laugh very hard at. I can't play the clip because I don't want to risk DMCA, so I'll just paint a picture with words here and describe it. Logan Paul brings up a bet that he proposed where he'd wager $1 million that he will suck the fart out of Dillon Danis' ass. It's not even going to be a real fight. Logan Paul will beat him, but not only beat him, he will annihilate him. A lot of people pointed out that this is a really weird bet for him to make, considering Logan Paul still has a debt that hasn't been paid to his community that he scammed with Crypto0. He made a promise to his community that he'd pay back about $1.5 million and some change to all of the victims of his scam. And during the press conference, Dillon Danis goes there. Miss Frizzle opened up the doors to the school bus and invited Dillon Danis on, and they took a trip right to confronting Logan Paul to his face about it. And he said, "Why don't you pay back the victims of Crypto0 instead?" And I shit you not, Logan Paul's response is, "I'm working on it." You keep praying for a time where people will just forget and move on, but it's not coming. And what made me laugh is that it's Dillon Danis that said it because he's obviously a scammer too. So it was a scammer calling out another scammer's scam. Dillon Danis has exploited his community so many times, knowingly scamming them because he's making money off of it. And yet here he is trying to hop on his high horse like, how dare you? I can't. You scammed your community. You remember that, Logan? I would never. I could never even imagine. It'd be like if Chris Brown made a statement on not beating women. Like, Dillon is absolutely right. Why not just finally refund your victims of Crypto0 like you've promised many months ago? But it's coming from Dillon Danis, who is also a scammer that has not refunded any of the victims and just outright tells them to eat shit for it. What reality are we living in right now? It's a fucking beautiful disaster. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I was feeling rather sophisticated, so I threw on a pair of these spectacles. Yesterday was Gamescom, which is a huge gaming showcase.
Don't be jealous. I'm not allowed to say anything about it. Yes, exactly. All right. Well, guys. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Really disappointed. They're disappointed.
Goober really tried to emulate Matan. There is another guy on stage who is not supposed to be there. He's the guy doing this pose. Like, are you not entertained? And the answer was a resounding no. Nobody was. This is lame as fuck. This man was basically invisible. The camera cut away too quick to see it, and even if you do pause it, It's too blurry. A couple years ago, he went on a different show in Germany and basically did the same routine but without Bill Clinton. He just said GTA 6, where's GTA 6? And got water thrown on him and kicked out. Security has got to be improved at these kind of events. I just wish Jeff Keighley put that little cherry on top of the cake. Like, I would have laughed my little tookus off if Jeff Keighley just hit them with like a sarcastic, haha, good one. This was probably one of the worst plays for attention I've ever seen. It's everything that's been happening with FouseyTube. He was around a long time ago doing pranks and all kinds of shit, and he was a big name back then. But he had a mental health meltdown that kind of caused him to step away from content creation for a while to work on himself and try and better his actual life away from the internet. And now he's come back as an IRL live streamer. Then his numbers kept going up. And as those numbers kept climbing, so too did his ego, until he reached his absolute boiling point and crossed the event horizon of maximal douchebaggery. He became his own worst enemy. He would insult people if they were poor. His main insult was about people's financial status and well-being. He became completely corrupted by clout. He was like Gollum, with the One Ring ruining his mind. It really started reaching its boiling point about 2 weeks ago. While on stream, FouseyTube was at an airport and met a woman, and she was very clearly super drunk. She was actually the victim of human trafficking at one point in her life. And how did FouseyTube respond to that information? By apparently having sex with her in the airport bathroom. And then his community turned on him. They were like, wow, that's actually extremely fucked up. So then he very quickly tried to play it off as a joke and he wasn't being serious. Like, haha, no, haha, not real, didn't actually happen. Ha, you guys fell for a timeless classic prank. Get pranked. He asked his community to donate to her and they raised like $2,500 for her. And that's apparently an excuse for having sex with an extremely drunk woman who also had just confided in you that she was the victim of human trafficking at some point. But it actually only made him even more popular because it put FouseyTube's mental health on a bigger stage for more people to see. And last night, he ended up getting arrested on stream. I don't even know where to begin with this stream. He had been yelling and insulting a ton of people. It was looking really bad. There was also some unlovable, kissless, virgin, loser, turbo, insufferable asshole troll that was calling and harassing FouseyTube's family, which only made everything significantly worse, obviously. He ended up getting kicked out of an Airbnb and then checking into a hotel where he had a manic episode again and ended up calling the police. And he basically swatted himself.
The fucking questions, send the fucking cops. Send the cops. There's a gun to my head right now. There's a gun to my head. Help, ma'am, he left. Ma'am, he left. There's a gun to my head. Help, get them. Help, bye. Ma'am, Intercontinental, what's my room number? Help, tell me.
And it was only made worse because the troll kept pushing him. Like, earlier in the stream, Fousey had apparently, fallen in love with this girl, and she had, broke up with him, and the troll took credit for it, claiming that he had actually planted that girl there so Fousey would fall in love with her, and then she'd break his heart. So he mentions that multiple times in the last 45 minutes because he truly believed that that girl he met was a fucking plant from this troll who's controlling every aspect of his life now. Even the girl he had fallen in love with was actually on the troll's payroll working for him in order to hurt Fousey.
He's a stalker.
Okay, and who is this guy?
I don't fucking know.
So how do you want us to look for him if you don't know where he is?
I have his address.
What is his address?
I said grab my security 20 minutes ago.
Alright, listen.
You guys are dumb as fuck, man. You guys are literally dumb as fuck.
What you are watching is a very real person. FouseyTube is a real human being having an actual mental health breakdown. A complete collapse of mental health. And people are just celebrating it and can't wait for him to come back and are praying that he doesn't take medication. He also mentioned during his stream that he hasn't been taking any of his mental health medication for the last 2 days, and he had apparently not slept for 2 days either, and people love it. People can't wait for more of it, and I just find that so fucking sad. He is surrounded by parasites, these fucking leeches that are latching on to Fousey's ass like a goddamn hemorrhoid in order to suckle some clout out from under him. And nobody around him seems to care. They only care that he keeps bringing in big numbers, which help them. He is in a actual manic state. He's not just going to stop and go to sleep because you asked him nicely. Pink sauce is just the gift that keeps on giving. I think the story of pink sauce and the pink sauce lady, her name is Chef P, I think this will be taught in classrooms across the world for years to come as a how to start a business out of a biological weapon, and then also how to ruin your business. Her initial food labels on the pink sauce having absolute gobbledygook on it, nonsense, just a catastrophe really. Pink sauce was started on TikTok by a creator named Chef P. She made it in her kitchen and posted videos with it. It was just this vibrant pink Pepto-Bismol looking sauce, and people went crazy for it. And the ingredients on her sauce contained things like raw honey and milk. And she was transporting it over state lines in hot temperatures, meaning when it got to customers, it was vile, revolting, radioactive sludge. And people started posting videos of opening their pink sauce in excitement, and what they got was shit that looked like this, looking like a bloated corpse out of a sarcophagus. Famous speech that she gave on TikTok Live, where she said, "What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical supplies." But then, out of nowhere, with one of the most unexpected, shocking plot twists the world has ever seen since the Darth Vader, Luke, I am your father moment, it was revealed with a big statement that pink sauce had just been acquired by Dave's Gourmet, and they started selling pink sauce in 4,000 something Walmarts across the country. And based on everything Chef P was saying, sales were great. People were super excited. And Chef P has recently come forward with a GoFundMe alleging that Dave's Gourmet never actually paid her the royalty she was owed, and it was actually a terrible deal. They were an awful, evil group. Pink Sauce Lady is claiming that she is broke. I don't even have enough money to buy my kids food. We actually did buy a bottle of it in order to see how yucky it would be. Not to taste it, but to like put it to the test, like take a Geiger counter to it, see how radioactive it is, see if it could be used to take the paint off of one of our cars. She then claims that she was silenced and sabotaged. She does not name said company in the video or social media, and she wrote that it has been difficult for her to care for and feed her children. Which is why I'm saying, again, like, it's not like she paid for that. That would have absolutely been on Dave's Gourmet. So I don't know how the fuck she lost all of her money in this bad deal. My mom is on disability and has been giving us $20 just to get by on a daily basis. School is a few days away. I haven't been able to get my kids clothes or anything. I'm currently facing an eviction that has gone into default. The sheriffs can come to my door any day now. I don't know how that happened, because from everything I've read here, she was no longer footing the bill for the production of pink sauce. It was now completely off of her plate, so that financial burden was eased thanks to the Dave Gourmet acquisition. And all of the marketing she was doing was Instagram posts and TikToks. That's free. It is important to note that Chef P does have a history of lying. She lied about everything in regards to pink sauce from the very beginning. I think there's a very good chance that pink sauce is just actually not selling at all, and Chef P thinks that it is, and thinks that she's owed money that this pink sauce is just actually not making. So maybe Dave's Gourmet has no profits to even share with Chef P as part of their contract. Well, yes, I actually did just finish playing pickup basketball on this sacred Thursday night. Thank you for asking. Wasn't my best showing. But can you stop talking about basketball so much, please? That's not what we're here for. Goodness gracious, you're a real chatty Cathy. What the fuck? What we're here to discuss is a really weird criminal I learned about on stream last night, and I've been thinking about him ever since. There's a case going around about a criminal in Essex who has done nothing but steal pacifiers from literal babies. Wait, what? Man, 23, charged with snatching dummies from babies in Essex, was arrested on Monday on suspicion of theft from a person, robbery, and using threatening behavior to cause alarm and distress. This happened on 4 occasions, apparently. The serial pacifier robber, burglar. What does he do with them? Does he just take them out and run away, or does he take them out and put them back? Like, what does he do? He uses the dummy to soothe himself. So what he's doing, and this is a revolting thought, he is taking the pacifiers out of babies' mouths and then sucking on them himself. But yeah, they did apprehend him, and the whole story is very baffling. That's a odd crime, for sure. But I want to give you a little bonus crime that I learned about on stream last night. Actually, you know what? I'll give you two, because we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with weird crimes. So this next one is about a serial mannequin pisser who's still on the loose, so beware of any mannequins. They might be marked with urine somewhere out there. So just sleep with one eye open. And this next criminal is not some unknown menace. This is actually a very well-known criminal. Burger King. And the crime, horrible food. But this time around, what they were guilty of is a promotional marketing campaign that led to the death of a few children, infants, during their Pokemon promotion of 1999. On December 11th, 1999, 13-month-old Kira suffocated to death in Northern California. A Pokemon toy from Burger King Kids Meal was believed to be the cause. The company had begun a massive Pokemon promotion in connection with the Pokemon the First movie, which debuted on November 10th. The 56-day promotion, one of the largest in history, was intended to run from early November to end of December. The Kids Meal prize during that 2-month period was one of 57 different Pokemon toys. Making the promotion all the more exciting was the fact that the toys were encapsulated within the immediately familiar red and white orb of a Pokeball. Burger King had plans to distribute over 25 million toys in this clever format for free with any Kids Meal purchased.
Enjoy.
She's even in body armor. They knew this was dangerous. That's a huge promo. Did they have all 151? How? After one half of the plastic Pokeball, measuring just under 3 inches in diameter, became attached to her face. She had somehow gotten it stuck over her nose and mouth, forming an airtight seal. Holy shit. Her mother took a shower for about 20 minutes, and when she emerged, her daughter was dead. But it's not the design's fault, I don't think, right? Like that's truly a freak thing, from the sound of it. 10 days later, on December 23rd, it happened again. An 18-month-old girl in Kansas almost suffocated. By the time her father pried the half of a Pokeball from her face, the girl's lips had turned blue. When we found out about the first death, there was a realization that this could be a huge national concern. This was the worst-case scenario. A major fast food chain, not just a toy store, distributing these toys by the millions. They had to make another advertisement in order to advertise the recall? Nowadays, they'll just make a tweet, be like, hey, we're sorry we killed some kids. Like, what more is there to say? We're sorry. January 25th, 2000, a month after the recall began, 4-month-old Zachary Jones was found dead in his crib in Indianapolis, Indiana. He, too, had been suffocated by a Pokeball. It's hard to believe that you go to get the kids something to eat, you bring home a lethal toy. Are they just clipping it around their nose like a pin? So from the way it describes it, it seems like what was happening is the baby would be playing with the Pokeball and the half would get caught on its face, like a fighter pilot, basically, with their mask. And it created an airtight seal that suffocated them. Everyone knows about Fyre Festival, one of the most catastrophic events that never happened. A giant scam, and creator Billy McFarland went to jail for it, and he still owes victims of it millions of dollars. It was a huge scam, everyone lost their ass on it, and it sent Billy McFarland to jail for being a fraudster. But he's been released from jail, and you know what he's doing? Fyre Festival again. He even tried to do a Crypto Island NFT scavenger hunt, but now he's just going back to calling it Fyre Festival too. After teasing the follow-up festival early this year, 100 pre-sale tickets went up for grabs on August 21st for $4.99 apiece. Tickets will continue to increase incrementally, with the last round selling for $7,999 each. For $1,500 or less, you could get 4 VIP tickets to Coachella with accommodations and a ready-to-go Lake El Dorado tent. Those 100 tickets have sold out. There was a mention of a new Fyre documentary and a Fyre Broadway music festival. Now there's Fyre Festival 2 slated for the end of 2024, with pop-ups and events across the world.
What's up, guys? This is a big day, because as of right now, Fyre Festival 2 tickets are officially on sale.
Yeah!
It's been
Woo!
the absolute wildest journey to get here, and it really all started during the 7th-month stint in solitary confinement. From around the world together to make the impossible happen, but how would find the best partners in the world to allow me to be me while executing Fire's vision to the highest level. But he's to sign a deal to produce Fire Festival, the Broadway musical. 2 is coming back to the Caribbean. We are targeting Fire Festival 2 for the end of next year, and in the meantime, we'll be doing pop-ups and events across the world. Guys, this is your chance to get in.
Let's go.
Everything I've been working towards. Let's fucking go.
As I'm sure you've heard by now, the tickets sold out really, really fast. And this is definitely going to frustrate a lot of you, but we now have 6,900 people on the wait list for Fire Festival 2. I have gotten emails.
Do you think this guy's ever told the truth about anything in his life?
However, today we are dropping Fire Festival merch. Here's one of our old hats. And I am picking 5 people who buy merch this week and comping you each 2 tickets to Fire Festival 2.
Fire Festival 2 pre-sale, the Caribbean, December 6, 2024 at 12 p.m. Where's the merch? Ah, here we go. $40 hat, $60 shirt, and okay, here. This is looking amazing, actually. So he's got great options here. The $40 festival hat, this badass shirt, beautiful hoodie. Hold on just a minute, sports fans. We've got a deal on our hands. It's imagination. It's SpongeBob and Patrick in their box. That's Billy McFarland's brain. That's his whole life. This guy is making hundreds of thousands of dollars selling nothing. Actually nothing. At least with DashCon, some people had fun. The ones that were like ejaculating into the pool. That's DashCon, right? I decided to look up who's actually buying these tickets and why. And it's pretty much what I expected. It's a lot of people doing it for the meme. But here, this is a couple that proudly is talking about how they spent nearly $550 each to be among the first buyers of Fire Festival 2. And they said, if anything, it'll just be a really cool vacation. Our main concern is that we don't know if big headliners will be willing to, take the risk to be in something so controversial. We're going to stay optimistic, but we're going to expect that there may be some cheese sandwiches. Why? You know what else would be a really cool vacation? Taking a really cool vacation that doesn't cost thousands of dollars that you give to a scammer who's just taking advantage of your stupidity. Like, I know you've seen the footage of the last Fire Festival. What about that screamed really cool vacation? There's nothing to be optimistic about. It is not happening. Billy McFarland is a scammer. He is legitimately, evolutionarily designed to just lie, make shit up, and exploit stupid people for money. That's it. Silly Billy still owes $26 million to victims of his first scam and has no actual plan of paying that back. He tried to do Pirate last time. He tried to do an NFT scavenger hunt island vacation called Pirate. Why buy his Fire Festival 2 make-believe tickets? Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So yeah, I just had to talk about this. That's about it. See ya. Have you ever watched something, seen it with your own peepers, and then were still told that what you saw isn't real? Because this deplorable lunacy is unfolding right now. The FIFA World Cup Women's Championship just concluded, and during the awards given out to the winners, the Royal Spanish Football Federation president Luis Rubiales grabbed one of the players' heads and gave the wettest, most sloppy, disgusting, revolting, unwanted kiss that's ever been televised. And it is, you can see the whole thing. It's a 5-second clip. All of it fits in 5 seconds. And yet, Luis Rubiales and his team of defense drones, fucking soulless husks, vampires that represent him, are claiming that it's actually all a lie. The woman that he unconsensually kissed is named Ginny Hermoso, and she did speak about this. She said, "I did not like this incident. I felt vulnerable and a victim of an impulse-driven, sexist, out-of-place act without any consent on my part." And in response to that, the Royal Spanish Football Federation has stood by Luis Rubiales and apparently has even threatened legal action against Hermoso and others, which is a fucking unbelievably evil action to take. She was just up there collecting her award for being on the winning team of one of the biggest events you can imagine. And then out of nowhere, like a jump scare, this Cronenbergian horrifying freakazoid grabs her by the skull like Omni-Man about to crush Speedster's head in the first episode of Invincible, and then he just kisses her out of fucking nowhere. It's gross. Like, that is just a disgusting action to take. There's not really a defense to it. And yet, Now she's being attacked not only by Luis Rubiales and everyone that's defending him on the upper echelon of those elite weirdos, but also just a bunch of other people have come to his defense like, it's not a big deal, what? It's just kissing her on the lips without her consent, who cares? I mean, that's fine. He was happy, she was happy, everyone was happy. It's a celebration, don't be so uptight. Don't be such a prude. Which I think is some delusional, alarming thought processes going on with that if you're trying to justify this action. And in response to all this, FIFA actually banned Rubiales and the Spanish Football Federation from contacting her to preserve her fundamental rights following the kiss. And apparently, she'd even been asked to alleviate the pressure on Rubiales. So there have been some resignations until proper action is taken, because right now he's getting a slap on the wrist. This is not the first time Luis Rubiales has found himself in some really degenerate hot water. Apparently he was even siphoning funds out of the Federation in order to spend them on orgies. This is a sexual deviant. This is a fucking bad person, and yet he still has this incredibly high position of power. It's mind-blowing. So a lot of the professional players are withdrawing. They're saying that they will not play again for the country until Rubiales is removed from his position. And the Federation is saying that they actually have an obligation to participate if they're called for it. Like, no, you can't do that, which is a scary thing to say. Why not just actually remove the problem, which is Rubiales, instead of punishing everyone else? But anyway, their evidence is that there was a deleted statement from Hermoso who said that she was totally okay with it. And Rubiales gave a speech saying several times that he would not stand down and called it unjust campaigns and fake feminism. He called the kiss, which took place after Hermoso collected her winner's medal, mutual, and described the conversation in which he asked the athlete for a small peck and she consented. If you watch the clip, this is not a small peck, I don't think, by any stretch of the imagination. But anyway, she still came out and said, like, no, that is also just not true. She said that at no time did the conversation to which Mr. Luis Rubiales refers to in his address take place, and above all else, was his kiss ever consensual. She felt vulnerable and was not respected. This doesn't look like an allegation. that immediately looks like a kiss. The way he grabs her head, too, is so aggressive. It was an unacceptable gesture, and Mr. Rubiales' apologies are not enough. They are not even suitable. Therefore, he must continue taking steps to clarify what we saw. We continue to ask for the resignation of the man who has harassed and assaulted a woman. His excuses are useless. This person must resign. Rubiales has previously called those criticizing him idiots. What do you mean I can't kiss any woman I want without any level of consent or anything? What? The president of the Spanish Football Federation was earlier forced to defend himself against the accusations of corruption in collaboration with Gerard Pique, and now the anti-corruption department is investigating him again. According to El Mundo, Rubiales has been accused of hosting private parties at a chalet in the region of Granada. He used Federation money to fund these parties, at which 8 to 10 young girls would arrive at the chalet. They were expensed under the pretense of work event at which the closest members of his team were present. The accusing party is Juan Rubiales, his uncle and former chief of staff. Juan also headed his campaign for the presidency of the RFEF before he was sacked in 2022. How does he keep his job? Because they were invited. Oh, good point. Are you a gamer? Me too. If you've ever played a new game, you've probably Googled something about it, and among the first links on the search results is Fextra Life. And it is such a scourge. Nobody goes to Fextra Life on purpose. It's like falling into the back rooms. Fextra Life is a wiki on pretty much anything new that's come out, but they also indulge in some very shady practices that I want to talk about today. So if you go to like the Elden Ring section on Fextra Life, and trust me, I did when the game was still new and I was looking things up, some of what they presented there was just legitimately wrong or incomplete. It seems like all they care about is just being first and taking advantage of that wave of new people that are just really trying to get information. They have actually just been blacklisted from a subreddit called Baldur's Gate 3 Builds because they were suspected of vote manipulation, downvoting links to the community wiki, and using bots to keep Fextra Life on top while throwing more things that compete with them into the garbage, flushing that shit right down the toilet. And this isn't the first time they've been accused of using bots for similar purposes. A while back, the Dark Souls community also had some very strong accusations against Fextralife for other manipulative tactics used by them on the community posts and subreddit. Now, the Fextralife owner has responded to all of the conversation and hoopla going on right now about them. The biggest one, and the one that I'm mainly going to be focused on, is the cooking of the books with their Twitch numbers. That's a big topic that's been around for many years, and they do talk about this here. But just to piggyback on the back of this Reddit accusation, they're coming forward and saying that, nope, that's a bunch of horseradish. Not real, not true, that's not us. We didn't use bots, and in fact, they even said, I didn't know Reddit bots were a thing, which is complete hogwash. I'm sure bots isn't the preferred nomenclature for Fextralife when it comes to their viewer numbers. They might use something a little more bubbly, a little more PR friendly, like less than sentient spectators, or perhaps blissfully unaware viewers of the Fextralife stream. If you have ever gone on Twitch during a new big game release, within the first or second on that page is Fextralife. They have like an average of 30k viewers when a game is new, and if they're playing an older game, they'll still average like 10k plus. But if you ever click on their stream, you're gonna smell something a little fishy in there. It gets a bit stinky in the swamp, because there is no chat activity. Maybe 2 or 3 people chatting to each other in a 30,000 person stream, which is very odd. You'd find more life in Chernobyl than you would in a Fextralife 30,000 plus viewer stream. It has to do with a very controversial practice they engage in called embedding, where they embed their Twitch stream on their wiki site. And not just on the front page, on every single page of their site. So, let's say you open the Elden Ring Fextralife page. You'll see that the stream is in the top left. They're currently offline as of me making this video, but when they're online, it would be right there. And now let's say you want to go deeper, you're looking at like build guides or something. If you go to one of those pages, the stream is also embedded there. It's on every single page of Fextralife, their stream is embedded, meaning no matter where you go, you will count as a viewer for their Twitch stream.
Sitting here, 30,000 viewers. The chat slower than fucking a 200 viewer streamer. This is pathetic. Twitch doesn't give a fuck, yeah. And that's the thing, is like, how are we really gonna get mad at them? They're just playing the game. They're not breaking any rules. So as you can see right here, inside of their wiki here, they have the stream embedded in this tiny little box. And this tiny little box here is why they have 31,000 viewers.
Now another thing, most people like me will keep these tabs open for a long period of time. So even if Fextralife's offline right now, if I just keep this tab open, when they go online, I'm counted as a viewer even if I'm not home. Like, even if I forget the tab's open, I'm still counted in their viewership numbers. There is something called like an offline community where if a streamer goes offline, there's pockets of people that'll hang around and just talk to each other in the offline chat, but not very many. It's a small number compared to the overall viewership. But for Fextralife, it's almost their entire fucking viewership is still in their stream even when they're offline. Meaning, it's just people that have a Fextralife wiki tab opened somewhere, not actually a viewer of their stream.
Surely my anguish and despair will ring on someone's ear.
23,000 current chatters. Okay, dude. All right, I'm a day streamer, boys. I guess this is what a 23,000 person chat looks like, guys. It's not a. You're disgusting. If you insinuate that there's not 23,642 people right here, right now, you are fucking disgusting for implying that these are view bots and they're not actually there. Okay. Literally 23,000 people in this offline chat. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. So the offline chat was over 23,000 current chatters. Not even the biggest streamers in the world have anywhere close to that as an offline chat number. That is people that are just on the Fextralife wiki with tabs open. They're not actually watching the Fextralife streams. Why doesn't Twitch stop it? And the answer's super simple. Why the fuck would they? This only helps Twitch. These big numbers are great for Twitch. They allow it, and Fextralife isn't breaking any rules. As you might imagine, this doesn't help other streamers, because Fextralife will always take either the #1 spot or the #2 spot in a brand new game release, and they're not actually, they're not actually having people watch them. It's fake, phony numbers because of the way they embed their streams on their site. So it takes those spots away from streamers that deserve it more, who actually do have communities that watch their streams. Extra Life streams often have sponsors, and sometimes very big sponsors. I imagine they sell their streams with their concurrent viewer average, which is like between 10 and 30,000 viewers. It's huge. But most companies probably aren't going to really look into that, so they're going to assume their ad is being seen by 10 to 30,000 people. It's not. As is very clearly illustrated, 23,000 of those people aren't actually even in the stream. They're on Fextra Life with the stream pulled up muted in some tab, not even aware that it's going on. So these companies aren't actually getting their ads placed in front of 30,000 viewers. They're getting it placed in front of, I have no idea, maybe a few hundred, maybe 1,000. There's really no way of knowing, because there's no real activity in their stream to judge it on or anything remotely like that. So it really isn't different than a viewbot. When you do play an ad on Fextra Life, nobody is watching. Same way as if you would play an ad during a stream that is just completely viewbotted in the traditional sense. They then say embedding is an advertisement of the stream to real people on real browsers on an external website. Like any integration, the objective is to get people to click and go to Twitch. No advertisements are played on the embedded unit, generating zero revenue. Embeds are part of the intended code of Twitch and are intentional features that anyone can use, and many content creators besides us do. These are real people that we have worked tirelessly to build up into our community. What community? You tirelessly built up an imaginary community. The Fextra Life community you refer to is more made up than the Tooth Fairy. The streams aren't even relevant to what your readers are reading. What's being streamed is completely separate from whatever they're on your site to read about. There's no chance that the two could even connect most of the time, unless of course it is a new release like Armored Core. Then I'm sure there is some crossover where someone went to Armored Core, Fextra Life, got some bad information, but saw you were streaming and was like, okay, maybe I'll check it out. That's possible, but that's clearly not the goal. If that was the goal, you would only embed your streams on the newest releases because they'd be relevant to each other, as opposed to just having it embedded on every single page where it makes no sense. Why would an Armored Core 6 Fextra Life stream be playing on my Dark Souls 3 Fextra Life wiki? And how the fuck would you possibly think that I'm on Dark Souls 3 wiki but might want to watch Fextra Life streaming Armored Core 6? It's just, that is a nonsensical statement to try and say that your embeds are only there to try and get people from your actual wiki to your streams. That's not the goal. The goal is just to artificially inflate your numbers because it's automatically playing and they count as viewers. What embedding does for me is make my website audience aware I'm a person, I'm streaming, and I can show them games that I think they'd be interested in. Again, that argument doesn't work when the website is all about game information. It's not a personality-driven site. They're not going to Fextra Life hoping that they'll see that Fextra Life is also live on Twitch. They're going there because they're looking for guides and information on the game that they are currently playing. That doesn't make any sense. What embedding does for Twitch is give them free advertising for their platform and an ongoing conversion from our website to Twitch. These new people were not on Twitch otherwise, and they're still not on Twitch. They're not going there. They're not going to Twitch. You can tell because there's no one in your chat. I don't know why they keep trying to say that. Yes, it is a free advertisement for Twitch. It's free numbers for their metrics, absolutely. But they're not actually getting new people to Twitch that weren't already endemic to Twitch. They're not bringing new viewers there. They're just idly on the Fextra Life wiki and it counts as a view on Twitch. And then they say they hopefully come back and become part of the Twitch ecosystem. It doesn't happen. Our embed is by no means a secret. It's very visible. In fact, it's the best possible spot on our website, and there's even a command for it on our channel. And as part of the channel rules, the idea that it's a fraud is also absurd. Our sponsors are aware of the embed, and it's a great deal for them to be able to promote their content on both Twitch and to our site users at the same time, particularly in the prime location that the embed has on our website. So this is very interesting to me. The sponsors are aware of the embedding. That's great. Are they also aware that the vast majority of your Twitch metrics come from that embedding? And are they also aware that that means it's muted? That means that their sponsorship package, the ad read, all of it, the vast majority of those numbers that it's being put in front of aren't even aware it's going on because it's muted and it's not visible. It's a very tiny box. Do the sponsors know that? I certainly hope so, because that would be very shady if you didn't make the sponsors aware that their ad read is going to be muted for the vast majority of the audience, and it's not going to be seen by them either because the box is too small and the viewers aren't actually on Twitch. That's really about it. See ya.